So read the below article that reveals the mystery in the hole in Lake Berryessa and how it was finally solved. When you are through with the reading, answer the questions that follow. The world is full of wonders. Among them is the mysterious hole in Lake Berryessa. No one knows how, but the mysterious hole opened up out of nowhere last year. Nobody really knew what it was, where it came from, or where the water was going to. Then Ivan Kilkas discovered something unexpected when he used a drone to explore this pit. And what he found inside was truly outrageous. Ivan Kilkas, who's known on YouTube as Ivan K, loved drones. As an adrenaline junkie, he worked at the boat and jet ski rental at Lake Berryessa. But in his spare time, he would go on adventures using his drone. Then one day, while flying the drone, he noticed something weird. Kilkus saw what appeared to be a massive hole that had formed on Lake Berryessa. But when he went to investigate, he quickly regretted it. First of all, let's take a look, please, at the huge hole in the lake. So this is exactly, Miss, please, can you listen? This is exactly how it looked like. So this guy worked at renting jet skis and whatever in this lake. And then one day he was flying his drone because he was a fan of flying drones. He found this immense water hole inside the lake. So he was wondering, what's this? And the water that's going through this hole, where is it going? So here they told us the results were outrageous. Let's see what exactly was the explanation of this. From a distance, Kilgus saw something odd while flying his drone over Lake Berryessa. It was a large hole on the surface of the lake. This dark-looking shape intrigued Kilgus, who decided to take a closer look. After all, the odd shape had seemingly appeared out of nowhere, and he wanted to see what it was. But when he started to fly his drone towards the massive hole on the lake, he ran into an unforeseen complication. So obviously, was it a smooth task based on what we've read so far? So he was intrigued, he was triggered, he was curious to know what's going on. He wanted to know what this entity was. And at the same time, obviously, the outcome or the result was complex, or at least surprising to him. Okay. Kilkus realized there was a problem. There was a problem when the drone screen started to flash, so he piloted back to safety just in time. After investigating it, he saw that the battery was low. Obviously, the last thing Kilkus wanted was to risk losing the drone in the hole. After he landed the drone safely, he took a look at the footage and his pulse began to race. What does it mean, his pulse began to race? What's your pulse? Hadi, please come sit here. Sit here, please. What's your pulse? The beat that you have in your wrist here or in your heart. So the point is, when your pulse starts to race, it means you are stressed out, you're afraid, you are responding to some emotional trigger. Okay, so he didn't know what was inside that. He had discovered something awesome, but he didn't know what was inside. That's why his pulse began to race. Paragraph 5. Kilkus intended to explore the hole in the lake even further. The only thing was that he had no idea how to do it. How could he possibly explore the interior of the massive hole he had discovered? Hadi, am I speaking in Japanese or something? Miss, please, the screen is being shared here, okay? So the only thing was that he had no idea how to do it. So he was curious to know what was inside that water hole, but still he was wondering how it could be done without risking losing his drone. His drone wouldn't survive. and he himself wasn't willing to risk jumping down there. So, how was he going to get footage from inside that lake anomaly? After a bit of brainstorming, he came up with a plan. This is more of a narrative, huh? They're narrating what he was doing, but at the same time, they were shedding light on this physical happening. Kilkus flew the drone towards the massive hole to begin his exploration plan. So obviously now he recharged the drone and he resent it. This involved flying the drone by the perimeter to see if he noticed anything that was out of the ordinary. If he saw something that piqued his interest, he could then devise a plan to investigate the hole further. But he was unprepared for the mission's massive undertaking, and he quickly regretted it when he realized where the hole led to. So, what do you expect, guys? Now, something triggered his interest even more, so he decided to resend his drone and he devised a plan. He came up with a plan to investigate further, but he quickly regretted it. What does it mean to regret something? You wish it didn't happen. Later on, he said, I wish I hadn't sent my drone. So obviously, what does this imply? What could have happened?
Well, it looks nearly man-made.
Do you think so?
I think so, yeah. The way it's perfectly round with the material.
Okay. So Rachel believes that this hole in the water could be man-made, but how? What if it's natural? So we're still giving a 50-50 possibility. It could be natural, it could be man-made. But what we are sure of is that the guy, till now, hasn't discovered what it really is. And he, now by the end of paragraph 6, they said that he regretted it when he realized where the hole led to. So let's see. California suffered a serious drought over the last decade. What do we mean by a decade?
10 years.
A period of 10 years. This had destabilized the ecosystem in the area, and that include Lake Berryessa. Water levels decreased significantly, which left the lake virtually barren. To say that the site was this small would have been an understatement because what was once a gushing waterbed was now a depressing arid location. So the California during that time was suffering from a serious drought. Water bodies like lakes and ponds and whatever were gushing waterbeds and they were full, but now they were arid locations like nearly desertified. People never imagined that this area would be restored, but when it started to rain, something incredible occurred. When it finally rained in California, it poured, and this was a real blessing. The land was no longer dry, and it brought a gift with it. In fact, this was the gift that Kilkus had found. According to Kilkus himself, the widest area of the hole was about 72 feet wide, which was huge. So we're talking here about a water hole with a diameter of 72 feet. But holes don't just pop out of nowhere. There had to be an explanation. So the question remained, how did this hole just appear out of thin air? It means out of nowhere. It just appeared. So here we're talking about a lake that was nearly dry, and suddenly, because of heavy rainfall, the lake was full again, and suddenly this hole emerged. So definitely it's not man-made. But what is the scientific explanation of this? Let's see. The hole had done more than draw Kilkus' attention. Anyone driving near the area of the dam, so it's a dam, not a lake. You know what's the meaning of a dam? Sad. Okay, it's a man-made water aquifer used to store rainwater, okay, to collect rainwater, so that this water will be used in the dry season. So obviously this water hole appeared in the dam. In fact, onlookers gathered from all over and they stared at the seemingly endless abyss. People were shocked by what they saw. Um, it's abyss, actually. People were shocked by what they saw. It was almost as if folks, we don't say folks, folks. Folks are the people, the folksmen, the locals, had been hypnotized by this mysterious hole in the lake. But when Kilgus did a little more investigating, he got to the bottom of the truth. So now it's time for the revelation of the truth. When Kilgus took his drone to the lakeside, he was prepared for what he assumed was the biggest journey of his life. As he flew the drone, Kilkus felt his heart pounding. His heart was beating very fast. He didn't waste any time either. He simply flew the drone towards the hole. While he was there, he checked out the massive drop, but couldn't see anything. But when the drone flew over the dam walls, why did they write dam wall like this? Excuse me. Obviously, guys, this is a typo, okay? Yeah, let's try to cover it here. Can we? We can't. Come on, we can't. Anyways, what I'm trying to erase it. I'm trying to erase it. Okay. خلاص, whatever. Okay. Okay, so it's a dam wall. Okay. Anyways, when the drone flew over the dam wall, Kilkus was caught off guard. Kilkus jumped back as he flew his drone over the dam wall. It turns out that water gushed like crazy at the foot of it. It seemed to him like a massive gutter was spewing water out after a massive rainstorm. Ironically, that's what Kilkus had discovered. The hole was nothing more than a man made slipway. Naturally, Kilkus was relieved that the hole was not caused by something supernatural. However, the slipway did hold some mystery. So, yes, as Gajal expected, it was man made, but I was trying to get you excited to read on. Kilkus discovered that the slipway, was created at the same time as Lake Berryessa. You see, the lake is also the seventh largest man-made lake in California, hopefully. So you can just imagine the massive water volume the lake itself has. But the reason for the slipway was to make sure that the lake would never overflow. So, guys, every like pools, when you go to the beach in summer, every pool, it has a water slipway, okay, to empty it. Here they made this slipway in the middle of the lake to prevent it from overflowing. So once the lake is about to overflow, they open this water slipway. The water just leaves. It gushes. It goes to a river. It goes to any water body. It goes maybe for agricultural purposes. But they are just doing this as a preventive measure to stop the lake from overflow. By what? Sorry. It also keeps the area and the dam wall safe from a buildup of water pressure. Because you know very well, if a dam is full, it exerts a lot of pressure on the walls of the dam. And if any of those walls cracks, water will burst out, causing a flood. That's why they always try to drain this dam to avoid any future disasters. It also keeps the area and the dam okay. By what? But why hadn't anyone seen this in over 10 years? Since California had experienced a prolonged drought, the slipway had no real purpose. Of course, if there is no rainfall, the lake will never be full, so there is no need for the slipway. So, in the wake of the low water levels, the slipway was closed and eventually forgotten. Now, in most cases, slipways often run through sections of the dam wall or over them. But this mysterious design led to the appearance of a hole in the lake. And if you want to see its captivating power, then visit Kilka's YouTube channel. You can do this, by the way. Kilka's channel is pretty popular, and the approximate number of 32,000 followers would agree. But on average, he has only gotten a few hundred to a couple of thousand people to watch his videos. But the video clips of the slipway caught the attention of millions. One of the videos has even been viewed 12 million times. And despite the explanation, the whole still mesmerizes people. What does it mean it mesmerizes people?
No, it gets their attention.
Yeah, it captivates them.
Yes, just feels like an advertisement for this guy's channel.
True. Exactly. But no, this is to show you that people, human nature in general, anything weird that we see, we always connect it to something supernatural, a mystery, something, knowing that everything in life. Yeah, but I was trying to trigger the curiosity of that. I was like, no, it's not. But the point is, guys,
Yes.
this is to show you that humans by nature try to explain everything as if it's a miracle, a mystery, something supernatural. But if we like dig deep into those happenings, we might easily find a decent logical explanation for it. So people, for example, if they hadn't researched or if they hadn't sent this drone above this slipway, they might have pretended that, oh, this is a mystery in this lake, a miracle, something weird, something supernatural, okay? Something evil, maybe, what we say. Uh, yeah, humans, they try to explain things as sinister or evil. So, although the mystery of the hole has been solved, people continue to feel a strange pull towards it. Again, let's take a look from the drone. So, although the mystery of the hole has been solved, people continue to feel a strange pull towards it. And if you haven't seen it yourself, you should definitely do it. It's definitely worth a trip to see Lake Berryessa and its mysterious hole. Thank you, Ren. But if you aren't able to head on over to California, then you can at least watch the Kilgus YouTube video to lay witness to the impressive sight of the lake and its mysterious slipway. So, guys, this is way easier than the previous lesson, like way easier. And of course, whenever we tell you Unit 6 has been covered, the physical world, then you have to expect any theme related to the physical world around us, maybe related to nature, maybe to space, maybe to animal life, anything. The physical world around us is the living world around us and everything that we can see and touch. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here, guys. Please, the lake, yeah, of course. Guys, please, for Thursday, I want you to work on part A only. It's a total of 7 questions. Okay, so please, guys, work on part A, pages 136, 137. I don't know if you have the same page numbers on your books because we have different versions. Thank you so much, guys. That's it for today. Miss,